Okay. So 300. So for row 2, the coefficient of x1 is
1,
1, 1,
0,
and
1.
x3 0, 1, 200. Okay. For row z, okay, it will be for z it is 1. No, for the coefficient of x1 is -2. Sorry, this is -2. Then -1, 0, 0, and the right hand side is 0. This is the first table which we make it. Okay. See, there are the property of this table, okay, simplex table, that it should satisfy two conditions. One, the first condition is that, okay, each basic variable, what are the basic variables for this table? Which are the basic variables?
x3 and x4.
X3 and x4. Basic variables are those which are have some values, okay, which are non-zero. Okay, so the two properties of this table is that each basic variable appears in only one of the constraints with its coefficient as 1, with coefficient 1, coefficient equal to unity, and in rest of the constraints with coefficient 0. If you see here, there are two constraints. So x3, if you see, okay, this is the basic variable in the constraint 1, so it will have as 1, and in rest of this it will have 0. Similarly, if you go to the basic variable x4, it will have 1 in one constraint, and in rest of this it will have 0. The second property of this is, that the coefficient in the z row for each of the basic variables is 0. This is the second point. So here, if you see here in the z row, what are the basic variables? Hello? What are the basic variables? X3 and x4. What are the coefficients of this in z row?
0.
0 and 0. Okay, these two properties should be, if these two satisfied, then that means you have made the simplex table perfect. If it is, even if one is violated, that means somewhere you have done something wrong. Okay, so this is the first solution. So the solution corresponding to this table is what? 0, 0, 300 and 200. Okay, So that is x1 is 0, x2 is 0, x3 is 300, x4 is 200, and what is the z value? Actually, these values are given in the right hand side. Okay, so see, x3 is 300, x4 is 200, and z is equals to 0. Okay, so now this is the first starting solution. Now we have to move from this basic feasible solution to the other basic feasible solution. Okay, what is a basic solution? What is a basic solution?
If you have n plus m variable and out of
If
which
we have m plus n variables and you have only m equations, so out of these, okay, you have to make n of them 0 so that you can solve uniquely for the rest m. Okay, so such solution where n number of variables are 0 is called the basic solution. Here, how many, what are the variables? How many variables are there? 4, no?
4.
So the number of m plus n is equals to 4. Okay, and how many constraints are there?
2.
2. Okay, so 4 minus 2. So basically you have to, n is equals to 2. So you have to make necessarily 2 variables equal to 0. Okay, so now here what we did is, in the initial starting position we have made x1 and x2 as 0, and we solved for x3 and x4, which we got it 300 and 200. So now from this solution I have to move to another solution. Okay, so that means now I can make x3 or x4 as 0, one of them, and when I make one of them 0, okay, I have an option to make x1 or x2 as non-negative, so that I can get a means a basic solution. Okay, so how do we do it? So that means one from x1 and x2 should enter the basic solution, and one from x3 and x4 should leave the basic solution, so that we get a new basic solution. Okay, so how we get it is by seeing the coefficients of non-basic variables in the z row. See, if you have, what are the signs for these non-basic coefficients of the non-basic variable in the z row? What is the sign?
Negative.
So negative, it means if you have a negative coefficients for non-basic variables in the z row, that means you have not reached an optimal solution. Okay, so that means still you have you have not reached the optimal, so you still have to do some iterations to get the optimal solution. So now between, so -2 and -1 are there, so which one I can send it? Should I send x1 or x2 into the basis? Okay, let me pose a question there, that by sending which of this variable x1 and x2, I will increase my objective objective to a maximum extent.
x1.
Why?
It has the most negative value, so if you make it 0, more increase.
Exactly. So whichever non-basic variable has a maximum negative coefficient, okay, so that should enter the basis. That means I should make x1 as a basic variable. Okay, so the next point is that, okay, the entering variable. That means which variable should enter the basis. Okay, the entering variable is chosen. The entering variable is chosen as as that variable which has the most negative coefficient, in the Z row. Okay, so that means now so the entering variable will be now this. This will be the entering variable. So this has the maximum, no? This has the maximum. So the entering variable will be -2. What is this? X1. This -2, correct. So you mark this column, and this column is called the pivotal column. Okay. Now once X1 enters the basis, X3 or X4 should leave the basis, no? Then only we will have the basic solution, because we have to make either X3 or X4 is equals to 0. Okay. So this, how can we now make, which one has to go? X3 or X4? We should send that variable which accommodates to a maximum extent the entry of X1, so that the objective is maximized most. Okay, so that we can do by taking the ratio. What we do is once we mark the pivotal column, in the pivotal column, okay, you see the coefficients which are positive in the constraints. Okay, so this 3 and 1 both are positive. Okay, and take the ratio of this divided by this pivotal column coefficient. That means 300 by 3. 300 by 3 is equals to how much? 100. Okay, here 200 by 1, which is equals to 200. Okay, so whichever has the minimum value, that has to go. Okay, so which one will go now out of the basis?
X4.
X4.
Which has the minimum value? 100.
X3.
Ratio. S3. So this S3 will go. And you mark this. You mark this column, which this is the leaving variable. And you mark this row as this. And this row is called the pivot row. And this point, the intersection of this, okay, by this is called the pivot. Okay, is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to now choose which variable should enter the basis and which variable should leave the basis. Okay, the entering variable is that variable which has the maximum negative coefficient in the Z row. Those non-basic variables which has the maximum negative coefficient. Here in this case it is -2. So X1, which corresponds to X1. So X1 will enter the basis, and we mark that column as the pivotal column. And here in the pivotal column, we will see the coefficients which are strictly positive. Okay, and we take the ratio, and whichever has the least ratio, that will leave the basis. Here in this case, it is the x3 which has the leave, so x3 will leave. So now we have to form the next simplest table. This is the first iteration or the starting solution. Now with this we will go to the second solution, second iteration or the second simplex table. I will write iteration 1. Again we will have this iteration 1. Again we have to write basis row 1, row 2 and row Z. So now what will be now in the basis? What should I write here? X3 or X1 for row 1? Hello?
X1.
What will be the basic variable corresponding to row 1?
X1.
So X1. Okay. X1. Okay. Then for the second row 2. Row 2.
X4.
It is X4 only. Okay. For row Z we will write Z. Then coefficients of X1, X2, X3, X4 and RHS. See, when we fill up this now, the coefficient for this, okay, for this row, and when we write the values, those values should satisfy the two conditions which I just wrote before. What are those two conditions which is the for a simplex table, which the simplex table should satisfy? That each basic variable should have, hello, the two conditions which we wrote, no?
Not non-negative.
Each basic variable should appear in one constraint only with coefficient 1, and in rest of the constraint it should have 0. If I write now x1 is equals to 3, can I write it?
No, sir.
So what should I do now? I should divide this row by how much?
3.
By 3. That means I have to divide the row by, this is the pivot row divided by the pivot. Okay, so I have to divide this. So when I write, before writing this, I have to write that, okay, the new pivot row, this is one, the new pivot row is equals to old pivot row divided by pivot. Okay, this is pivot, these 3. So this 3 is the pivot. Okay, so how much will be that? It becomes too small.
Hello, sir. Sir,
Hello?
in a row 2, X1 and X4 both are present. Then why you choose X4 as a basis?
No, we have to change now. We have to change the row 2 also.
Okay.
See, our initial solution is this, no? 0, 0, 300, 200. Okay. Now I am making this non-negative, but I am making this as 0. Okay, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
So what value should I give it to x1 so that this becomes some value 0 and this, and you will get some value for this also. This is also a basic variable. Okay, we will see when we do this. Okay, so now what will be the old pivot row divided by pivot? That will be, I have to do 3 1 1 0 300. All these I have to divide it by 3. So when I do it, what do I get? For x1 I get 1, isn't it? Hello? When I divide it, this old pivot row is this 3 1 1 0 300. 3 1 1 0 300. Each of them I have to divide it by 3. So when I do it, 3 by 3 is 1, 1 by 3 is 1 by 3, then 1 by 3, okay, 0, and RHS will be 100. Okay, so in this second row, what should be the coefficient of x1? If it has to conform to the simplex table.
0.
Hello?
0.
It should get, so I should get 0 here in the second row and also in the Z row. Okay, so to do that, the second is that, okay, for all for all the other rows, so first you have to fix the pivot row, okay, by dividing the old pivot row divided by pivot. And the second is that, okay, the new row for all the others, new row will be equal to old row. This is basically a Gauss-Jordan transformation minus pivot column coefficient, pivot column coefficient multiplied by the old row, multiplied by the new pivot row. Okay, so what is the old row for this? For the second, for the constraint, this is 1, isn't it? 1 1 0 1 200, isn't it? This is the old row corresponding to the second constraint. Okay, minus what is the pivot column coefficient here for this? This one minus 1 into the new pivot row. What is new pivot row? Hello? What is new pivot row?
So 1 by 3 1 by 3.
Yes, exactly. 1 1 by 3 1 by 3 0 100. Okay, so what do we get? Please do this. We will get
0
0
2 by 3 minus 1 by 3.
2 by 3 minus 1 by 3, correct?
1 and 100.
1 and 100. Okay, so that you have to write here. What is 0 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3 1, then 100. Am I correct? Similarly, the new Z row, the new Z row is equals to old Z row minus pivot column coefficient into new pivot row. The same thing, same rule applies here also. So what is old Z row? Old Z row is minus 2. Let me write. Minus 2.
Minus 1.
Minus 1. 0. 0. Okay. Then 0. Minus. What is the pivot column coefficient here for Z row?
Minus 2.
Minus 2. Exactly. Very good. Into new pivot row. What is that? 1.
1 by 3.
1 1 by 3. 1 by 3. 0.
100.
100. So what do we get this? So this will be
0.
0.
Minus 1 by 3.
Yes.
2 by 3.
3. 0.
0, 200.
0 and 200. Exactly. So this you put it here. What is that? 0 minus 1 by 3. 2 by 3. 0. 200. So now you check whether you are satisfying both the things or not. See here, now we know that the basic variables are x1 and x4. So x1 has a coefficient of 1, okay, and it has 0 in other constraints, okay. Similarly, x4, it has 1 and it has 0 in the other, and also the coefficients of these basic variables x1 and x4 in the Z row, they are also 0. So we are conforming to the standard simplex table. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, what is the basic solution now corresponding to this? X1 is whatever is the RHS you get, that will be the value. X1 will be 100. What is the value of X2?
0.
0, because it is a non-basic variable. What is the value of X3?
0.
0, because it is a non-basic variable. And what is the value of
100.
X4?
100.
100. And what is the value of Z?
200.
200. Okay. So did we do we have achieved the maximum? Did we reach the maximum? Or we have to do one more iteration?
One more.
100.
Why?
The coefficient of x2 in z is negative.
Because the coefficient, even if one of the coefficients in the Z row of the non-basic variables, if it is negative, that means still we have not reached the solution. So minus 1 by 3 is there here. Okay. So that means we have not achieved the solution. So we have to go now for the one more iteration. So now which will be the entering variable now?
X2.
X2, because only the non-basic variable which has negative coefficient is X2. Okay. So now X2 will enter now. Is it clear? So I again mark it as, so the entering variable is X2.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to ask that if hypothetically non-negative,
Which one?
most non-negative coefficient, if x3, not x2, will we take it
X3,
as
X3 cannot, X3 will not have, no. No, X3, yes, okay, yes. Okay,
No, I was just
because
asking
this is a
if
non-basic variable, yes.
okay, okay, sir, I got it.
If it is a non-basic variable, because you have taken it out, no, it will become positive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now because it has now only 1 minus 1 by 3. Okay. So now what will be the departing variable, leaving variable?
X4.
So I have to take the ratio again. The ratio. So that is, so whatever is the positive values you have to do. So 100 divided by 1 by 3, which is equals to 200. Am I correct?
300.
300. And this is 100 divided by 2 by 3. You have to see in the pivotal column which has the positive coefficients. Okay, 1 by, so here you have both are positive, so you have to take that ratio. So how much it comes? 150, isn't it? So which one will go out now? Which has the
X4.
least?
X4.
X4, which has the least ratio. Okay, so this will be the leaving variable or departing variable. So again I mark it now as this. This is the pivot row. Okay, and this is the pivot. This is pivot. Okay, now we have to go for one more iteration. Okay, so now let us make it. So now again I will write basis. Basis row 1, row 2, then Z row, row Z. So for row 1, what is the basic variable? Hello, now in the new table. Hello.
X1.
X1 only. What about row 2?
X2.
X2, because it now X2 is entering and X4 is leaving, so it becomes X2, and row Z we write it as Z. Then coefficients of X1, X2, X3, X4 are H's. Okay, so now which row I should first write?
Second.
Row 1 or row 2?
Row 2.
Row 2. Why? Because the pivot is in this thing. So the new pivot row will be equal to, what is the formula, what is the new pivot
Old
row
row by
is equals
coefficient.
to old pivot row divided by
Coefficient.
pivot. So that means I have to do the new pivot, the old pivot row is 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3. No, sorry, 0, 0, 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3, 1, 1, 0, 0 divided by, I should divide it by
2 by 3.
2 by 3, which is the pivot. Okay, so when you do that, what do we get? How much we get? That will be
0, 1,
0, 1
minus half,
minus 1 by 2. Yes.
2 by 3,
2 by 3 or 3 by 2?
3 by 2.
3 by 2 and
150.
150. Okay, so now I have made it the first, okay, the other row. Now what will be the row 1? New row 1. New row will be equal to this old row. So that means 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 0, 100 minus, what is the pivot column coefficient? 1 by 3, isn't it? 1 by 3 into new pivot row, which is 0, 1, minus half, 3 by 2 and 150. Okay, so with this what we get is, okay, 1, 0. I am writing this. Okay, please you can check, minus half. Okay, it becomes 50. What is new Z row? New Z row will be old Z row, which is 0, minus 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 0, 200 minus pivot column coefficient here corresponding to Z is minus, hello, how much? Minus 1 by 3.
Minus 1 by 3.
Minus 1 by 3 into new, new pivot row, which is 0, 1, minus half, 3 by 2 and 3 by 2 and 150. Isn't it? This is my new pivot row. Okay, row 2. So this works out to be 0, 0, half, and 250. So this will be my this thing. So what is the basic solution corresponding to this? Hello? What is the basic solution corresponding to this?
50, 150, 0.
X1 is 50. X2 is
150.
150. X3 is
0.
0 and X4 is 0. And what is the corresponding value of Z?
0. 250.
250. Okay. So should we go further or we have reached the optimum, maximum? So how can we find out whether we have reached the maximum or not?
Coefficients are
See, in the Z row Z, the coefficients corresponding to the non-basic variables. Non-basic variables are X3 and X4. Corresponding to that, these two are the coefficients. They are positive, no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So because they are positive, there is no need for us to do further. Okay, so we have reached the maximum. This is the maximum. You can stop this simplex procedure here. Hello? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is actually, if you can understand this, okay, so that will be that will really so what we do here is you have to remember these two formulas. Okay, so one is that, okay, that each of the basic variables will have a coefficient 1 in one of the constraints, and in rest you will have 0 even in, okay, and in the Z row the coefficients corresponding to this basic variable should be 0. So we do these transformations when we move from one iteration to the other iteration. First we will be seeing which one has to enter and which one has to leave. So how do we decide which one has to enter? First of all, when do we say that still we have not reached maximum?
coefficient of non-basic
The coefficient
variable.
of non-basic variables in the Z row, if they are negative, that means we have not reached the optimum. So we need to do iteration. Okay, so then once we know that we have to do the iteration, then we have to send one of the variables into the basis, and we have to take out one of the we have to send one of the non-basic variables into the basic, and we have to take out one of the basic variables out of this basis. So how do we decide the entering variable? In the Z row, that non-basic variable which has the maximum negative coefficient, you have to send that into the basis. Okay, which one will go out? The departing variable or the leaving variable? We take the
Smallest
ratio of
ratio.
the RHS to the pivot column coefficients which are strictly positive. Okay, we take the ratio, whichever has the least ratio, that basic variable will go out of the basis. Okay, so when we construct the second what is that, the second table, the next simplex table, we have to see that it conforms to the two rules which we have earlier said. So to achieve that, first you have to find the new pivot row as old pivot row divided by pivot. Okay, so that you have to first fix. Then once you get that, okay, then the other rows will be, the new other will be equal to old row minus pivot column coefficient by into new pivot row. This is basically a Gauss-Jordan elimination. Okay, so transformations which we do. Similarly, the new Z row is equals to old Z row minus pivot column coefficient into new pivot column. If you do this, okay, so it will conform to the standard simplex table. So and again check in the Z row if any of the non-basic variables has a negative value. Okay, if it has a negative coefficient, then if it has a negative coefficient, you have to do one more iteration. So you go on doing these iterations till we get positive values for the non-basic variables in the Z row. So once we get that, we stop it and we take that value. The beauty of this simplex table is that you will get the values of the basic variables and the objective function value, okay, as RHS. Okay, so we'll just what happens if there is a tie and all those things we will see in the next class. So tomorrow shall we have from 4 to 5 only this week? Hello? Hello? So tomorrow I will take an extra class from 4 to 5. Okay, only this week because I have missed many classes. Okay.